Hey friends, thanks for joining me on my first video. I really appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe. It would really help me out and grow my channel. So my name is Lisa and I am 48 years old, fresh 48 on December 31st. I came to the realization that I'm approaching 50 and I don't have a budget in place. I thought I had a budget, but not really. And wanted to do something about it and was inspired by the No Spend January. I think it's called No Spend 2025, but a lot of people are just doing it for the month of January. And so I decided, yeah, I'll do that and kind of see where my spending habits are. I knew where my spending habits were, but I didn't know how much. So, so here I am, writing out my goals, my why, as to why I'm going to budget and cash stuff my money, why I got to this place where I am with some debt. Maybe you're like me. So I just figured I would use this platform as a way to hold myself accountable and look back maybe this time next year and see how far I've come. So with that, what are my goals? I mean, you have to start somewhere, right? So like I said, I'm approaching 50. I have a teenage son. I want to be debt-free. I love to travel. And I want to be able to enjoy my life and what's left of it and be able to retire one day. And the way the economy and everything is going, it really doesn't look like I'll be able to retire at 60, probably not at 70, maybe more like 75, 80, I hope. But I want to do something about that. I don't want to wait until I'm 70 or 80 to be able to retire. So here we are. As for goals, my big goal right now is to do No Spend January. And I'm not doing great, but I'm aware. I guess you have to be aware of what you're doing in order to change something. And so now I'm looking at every dollar and every penny and really can't believe it. So I just want to point out here that, I did great, right? I have 4 no spend days. I'm coloring those hearts in with a marker, but I messed up on the 2nd. I messed up on the 6th. And today, thankfully, I didn't spend anything other than $20 at McDonald's while my son had a orthodontist appointment and he wanted something to eat. And so we were running around and that's what we chose to do. So I'm thankful that it was only $20. But now I'm aware. But I did figure out that by the 7th here, if you tally everything that I spent, it's $283 so far in just stuff and eating out or whatever, stuff I didn't need, non-essentials. And, that's my grocery budget. So this is really just eye-opening for me. And things need to change. So I'm glad that I started this No Spend January because now I'm looking and tallied it up $283. That's a lot. And so my goals, like I said, I really want to be able to retire one day. Want to be debt-free, want to travel, want to enjoy my life, and while I'm healthy and able to. So goals for 2025. emergency fund. I've heard a lot of people mention this and say, oh, you have to get to $1,000. I think it's a Dave Ramsey thing. Get to $1,000 as fast as you can. So I was like, what? That sounds pretty sound. Let's do that. Christmas, I struggle every single year on the struggle bus buying Christmas. I can't afford it. I always wait to the last minute, and that's why I can't afford it. And so, that really, if I wait till the last minute and I don't have the funds at the beginning of the year or throughout the year, and I'm not working toward saving that money, I'm pretty much, at the end of the year, I'm pretty much scrambling, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then using credit cards, which, if I want to be out of debt, then I can't be using credit cards. I should be paying them off instead of using them. And yeah, so $1,000 is the goal. I would love to have a month ahead envelope, or whatever you would call it. And for my month ahead, God forbid, if something happened and I couldn't work for a month, I want to be able to pay my bills. So I want to be able to eat. I want to be able to provide for my son. So $3,500 in that envelope is a good goal. I also want to, because I enjoy traveling, I want to begin a 100 envelope challenge. And I've seen other people do this. So they make it look easy. So I want to give it a shot. I know nothing is easy. Nothing worth it is easy. So there's sacrifices that those folks make in order to stuff those envelopes. But my son graduates in 2030. So, he loves Japan, loves anime. So that's on the table. An African safari has been talked about. Going to Europe is talked about. So these are things that we dream of and dream of doing and talk about them. So I would like to start the 100 envelope challenge to be able to do that in maybe 2030 or 2031. The other goal, pay off debt, credit cards in particular. I have a mortgage, I have a car payment. Is it feasible for 2025? I guess anything is feasible, but realistically, I would love to pay off the credit cards. I also need a sinking fund for a new roof. These are things to come on my home. I have a mortgage, so one day I'm going to need a new roof. I definitely need some new carpet or flooring in the master bedroom. And the other big one is the fixed exterior. I would like to get vinyl siding and a vinyl facade, like, what do you call it? They wrap it, and so you no longer have to paint and keep up the wood. So would like to do that. And a new deck. I have been noticing that the deck is getting a little worn, so I'm going to have to replace some decking. But, these are all things that come with owning a home. So, I need to save for those, and I don't do that. I don't save for these things. I just rip out my credit card and then deal with the aftermath later, and that whole thing needs to change. The last goal is that I want to retire one day. I don't want to be 70 years old and still working. So I want to invest more. And in particular, I want to contribute. I contribute now to a 401k through my job. I have some investments that I have purchased, like stocks. And I opened a Roth IRA last year. And I have $755 in it. And am struggling to add any more. So I would love to invest more, especially into the Roth IRA, because that will help me toward my ultimate goal of being able to retire one day. So anyway, I hope, maybe you can relate. Maybe some of your goals are similar to mine and we can go on this journey together. So anyway, yes, that's me. So, that whole $283 spent really got to me. So I started picking apart. Now this is what you do. Like, it's like when you get a zit on your face and you pick it apart, and so it becomes it's from that movie, she's like, I pick at it and pick at it and pick at it, and then it becomes this big crater on my face. Well, when I started looking at what do we eat in a day, because I was like, okay, why do I have like a huge grocery budget? And we really don't eat that much food grocery wise. I wrote out for my son and I like what we eat in a day. Like, we are bare bones here. Like, I mean, he eats pretty good. Eggs, bacon, cheese omelet in the morning, sandwich or leftovers from the dinner night before, protein shake. He has snacks like chips and stuff. Not many. I don't buy it on a regular basis. And then we eat a regular dinner. Like the other night we had chicken thighs, some rice, some stovetop, green beans. We grilled chicken thighs on the grill, the outdoor grill. So we eat a regular dinner, and then I usually have enough for like leftovers for the next day, which they're usually eaten up by lunchtime. So orange juice, milk, Capri Suns, he likes those. So that's, kind of like what we buy. I have a coffee and banana in the morning, coffee with creamer. I like this yogurt. It's the 20 grams of protein yogurt. And I have the Great Value granola and Great Value dry fruit. And I put that in my my yogurt, and I mix it up. I eat it. Protein shake, pepperoni and cheese, for snack. Zachary also eats pepperoni and cheese for snack. It's right there in the fridge. Grab it. And then a regular dinner. I will have milk. If I have some cereal in the house for Zachary or whatever, and I want a bowl, that's when I drink some milk. But I mostly drink water. That was another goal of mine. Drink water. That's all. I don't want to be, buying soda. I'm not saying that I'm anti-soda. Maybe I'll have soda when I go out for dinner or something, or eat out, but that's not on a regular basis. So I really want to just drink water. So looking at this, and this is where I went down a rabbit hole. Just for me. So the yogurt is $1.48. Protein shakes are $3.28. I said 2 here. I wasn't, Zachary, I was accounting for him, but if we're just talking about me, $1.48 for yogurt, protein shake $3.28, granola maybe 38 cents a serving. That's what I figured out. The dried fruit, 60 cents a serving. Coffee creamer, 40 cents a serving. Banana, 26 cents. Pepperoni, about 66 cents a serving. Cheese, 30 cents a serving. You're seeing where I'm going here. And then dinner is about $8 or $9 per person when you add up all of your ingredients and things that you need. And I'm not talking about like pepper, salt, olive oil. Like, majority of people have those already. I'm just talking about like the rice, the green bean, the cans of green beans, the chicken thighs, the stovetop. And so it's coming out about all this per day. What I'm consuming in a day is $16.36 per day. And times 7, if we don't eat out somewhere, that's $114 per person. So I rounded up, $115, $230 per week is the bare minimum grocery bill. Crazy, right? It goes fast. It's like water, turning on the faucet. The money just goes. So I started doing, this is all new to me. So I started doing a dinner planner. And now we have 4 adults in the house. My mom and dad, we combined homes a couple years ago. They're getting older. I'm a single mom, and I've got a 13-year-old son. So my house was big enough for us all to live in. And so here we are. So for 4 adults, like I'm trying to calculate in Walmart, like how much everything was. So it came out to be $5 per person, this meal. Tonight we had meatball subs from Costco. So they were about $15, $16 a piece. We bought 2 of them. And so that came out to be $8 per person. I don't know what we're going to do Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday night we're going to do homemade pizza night. Comes out to $5 per person. But it could be a lot cheaper if we made our own dough instead of buying the frozen pizza dough ball in the frozen food section. If you make your own pizza dough, with flour and water and some yeast, it's a lot cheaper. So I'm trying to come up with different ways to save and keep the meal per person, the meal costs down. So that way my $230 a week is maybe potentially less. So here's another thing. Expense tracker. What was I spending on per month? Now I went through and, you go through your bank statement. So I found this expense tracker on Canva. So I just put first of the month. I get paid the 15th and the last day of every month. But my last day of every month is really for the 1st through the 14th, if you understand, so I just say that's my first paycheck. So I went through and I was like, what's coming out of my account? And I'm looking at all these things. IXL, Microsoft Realms, that was my son. Greenlight, $10, $5 and $5. I was spending $20 a month to have a Greenlight account for my son. AT&T for all of our phones, $367. Our gym, $54. Been verified. How long has this been on my account? I looked somebody up on Been Verified a long time ago. So this $33 has been hitting my account. And it's not funny. I'm kind of chuckling, but it's not funny at all. How long has that been on here? So I kind of went through my whole thing. This was sports. So you can watch, my son was playing sports. So it would be to be able to send a link to the game and be able to watch it on TV for family that are out of state, $12 a month. Blink cameras, security cameras, $11 a month. BarkBox, we have a dog. Her name's Daisy. And I was paying $43 a month for BarkBox, which she enjoys, I enjoy, and I'm not trying to not enjoy life, but I was able to change that payment and say, hey, I'm canceling my subscription, and they offered me a box for $15 a month. So I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to keep it because that brings me joy. It makes me happy. And, I love seeing my dog happy and I love spoiling her. So she's like she's my daughter. So I have a son and a daughter, for daughter. OnStar for the car to be able to remotely start it, $15. I had Netflix on here twice. That's why it's crossed out. Uber Eats. We were doing Uber eating a lot. And so my son would just order food, and $10 a month just to have Uber Eats account and be able to order from it without paying like all this extra money. So it was a $10 membership. Apple, Google Photos, $2. Peacock TV, $8. My car, I split my payment. So my car payment is due on the 15th. But I split the payment out of, both paychecks. So the bill is not as hefty. And I do the same thing with mortgage. $263, mortgage, $500. Amazon Prime, another membership, $15. I think it actually went up to $16. Bank of America credit card, $30 is the minimum. And Netflix, $8. So I looked at this and I was like, what can I get rid of? IXL is a learning program, so it was really for my son to get better at math, and he wanted to learn Spanish and things like that. So he wasn't using it as much as I thought, or as much as he thought, and that was $21. So I canceled it. I had a conversation. I said, do you use this realm anymore, this server? And he's like, no, I don't use it anymore. Canceled it. $9. Green light. I bank with Bank of America. Bank of America has a family banking program. I can get my son an account through them. Free, because I have my checking with them. So I did that. I set him up with an account. I canceled green light. So $20. Ben Verified, called them, canceled that because who knows. This sports, he's not playing sports. It's winter. Canceled that, $12. OnStar, I don't need to remotely start my car. I can run out there. I can brave the weather. $15. Uber Eats, canceled that because we're not eating out. We're on a spending, we're doing a spending challenge. $10 back to me. Peacock TV, we weren't watching it. $8. I saved I put $176 back into my budget by just going through the expenses. Did the same thing with the paycheck for the 15th. My car payment, the whole payment is $526. I'm paid $263 out of each check, $500 out of this check. DirecTV, $124. Everybody likes to watch a little TV. Not canceling that. NC $529 is a education savings program. Walmart Plus membership, $14. Solar Shine is a car wash. I had a subscription to it, $32. And it comes in handy in the summer, but not now. Carowinds, which is an amusement park, I'm paying for our yearly passes. His friends go, my son's friends, $22 for each of us per month. That's until August. I have to pay that. Ancestry, I'm looking for some ancestors that I have overseas, $25 a month. This is for another set of security cameras, $13. Apple Music, $17. Then the iCloud. I have to look into this a little bit more because I'm paying one separate iCloud for my mom, and then I have a family plan. So I'm not sure exactly why my mom is not in my family plan. So I have to fix that. We also have Apple. My son watches Crunchyroll. It's like anime, $8 a month. Had Disney, $16 a month. Alexa is about $4. I have some sleep sounds because I can't sleep. So, brown noise, ocean sounds, things like that. I think I'm added them up and it's like $3 and something. So I rounded up $4. I have a Capital One. There's 3 credit cards. A Credit One Count, Destiny, Discover, Cornerstone. So I have to find out what the minimums are on these, and then I'll fill them in. But I was able to, get rid of Disney Plus and Solar Shine. So that was good. Okay, so I came up with a little calendar. I printed this off from Canva, and I figured, you know what? I see other people doing this on YouTube. Let's do it. Let's see if this is the ticket. So a lot of people don't show their monthly pay. I'm not shy. I'm going to show it because, this might help somebody. It's going to help me keep myself accountable. But, maybe somebody out there can relate. Maybe they're a single parent and they're struggling and they don't know why. So my goal, another goal, I would like a buffer in my checking account of $500. Just sitting there. Just, in case something comes out that I wasn't expecting, that I wouldn't bounce other things. You know what I mean? I don't make it a habit to bounce anything, but this, having some extra money, a cushion, if you will, is nice to just make sure that nothing goes over. So like I said, I get paid on the last day of the month, $17.50. car payment, Apple, NC 529 mortgage. And I'm checking off as I make the payments. I got an extra check here. It was a dividend, $72.54. Premier credit card, $29.40. I paid it off, and then I made the minimum over here. I paid it off, and I actually canceled this card completely. I'll tell you why. Monroe Aquatics, that's the gym, $54. Cell phone, $367. Amazon Prime, $16. It did go up $1. And then the minimum payment from Premier credit card was $30. So I got rid of the credit card. I made the full payment that what I owed, and then called up today and canceled it. Blink cameras, $11. BarkBox went down to $15. Bank of America credit card, $30. Netflix, $8. So that's all that comes out of my first paycheck. Then whatever's left over, obviously, is fixed expenses and variable expenses, things like that. And that's what we're going to work on in the next video, is figuring out those categories and what my sinking funds are going to be, things like that. Second paycheck, $17.50 again. I'm a salary employee. NC 529, DirecTV, mortgage, car payment, $263. I make the whole payment on the 15th. It's due. Apple, $13 more plus that membership. Alexa, Capital One, the 3 credit cards that I have. Apple, $17. Credit One, $30. Destiny, $30. Carowinds, $22. Apple, $60. Need to look into that again. Discover credit card, $63 is the minimum payment. Amazon Music, $11. Ancestry, Cornerstone, Apple, and then I get paid again on the 31st. So this month I was kind of proud of myself because not only did I have this paycheck, not check, but this dividend come, I also had a bonus back in December. So this month I paid off $452 on a Carnival cruise that we took in October. I was making payments and I got rid of that debt that I owed. So the cruise has now been paid for. And then I was able to kind of pay up my payments. So like Capital One was paid. Those 3 credit cards, the Credit One, the Destiny. So the ones, I was able to pay these off earlier in the month than I normally would. So I just went ahead and I just knocked them out. So that was nice to be able to do that. So, so it's a lot, but now I'm going to have to figure out, I don't know if these numbers are correct anymore, but I figured out after all of my fixed expenses are paid from paycheck to paycheck, I have no idea where I left off because I got a phone call, but like I was just going over and like I was saying is that, this was really eye-opening to go through each, all my expenses, the fixed ones, the ones that don't change, and see where I'm at. And to have $445 left over for your variable, it doesn't seem like very much. So my next attempt at getting this budget under control and understanding like my numbers is going to be looking at my variable expenses, especially during this no spend month, because it's going to be true numbers, like true actual numbers, like what we need to live, to be comfortable, to be happy, not buying a bunch of stuff just to have stuff for stuff's sake, so I'm going to go back through these numbers. Like I said, these, like the Apple ones, I'm going to be reviewing these, especially because I need to dive a little bit deeper and understand like what they are and understand, like, see how I can condense those 2 family plans, to maybe get myself a little bit of, money after my fixed bills are paid. having a little bit more here for variable and sinking funds and saving challenges would be nice. Like the second half of the month, $321. My grocery budget is like $200 and something. I have nothing left over, like practically. So, maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but really doubling down on those debts, getting rid of these credit cards, is really going to be instrumental in making sure that I got some extra money here for sinking funds and for the savings challenges. And just getting a hold of the variable, because, those change and fluctuate every month. So, yeah. So anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining and listening to me ramble on. I appreciate it. If you want to see more of my journey, please subscribe, like the video. It would help. That's what I hear. And yeah, I think next time we'll go through those variable expenses and see where we're at with the no spend January. Oh, and if you are doing a no spend January or no spend 2025, maybe comment below. Comment on my video. Let me know what your rules are. Like I said, no essential spending, period. Well, that's not working out for me, but I'm doing my best to curb those habits, those bad habits. And let me know what your rules are. Like, are you like totally like no spending, like only essential items, only groceries, gas, like things like that, and your bills that, are due? Or are you just setting some rules like no Amazon? Because I've seen a lot of people are doing it like a variety of different ways to make it work for them. So anyway, I would be curious, just because more info definitely helps, and sharing ideas definitely helps. So yeah. So anyway, like and subscribe, and next time we'll go through the rest of my weekly dinner planner. Maybe we can dinner plan together, look at the grocery budget, and see where we can cut out certain expenses. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.